Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Ustad Abdullah, today?
Alhamdulillah, brother. Very good. Alhamdulillah. Very good.
I hope everybody's well listening to us and having a great Ramadan.
I hope so as well. I hope so, inshallah.
So what's the sketch today, Ustad Abdullah?
Today, inshallah, we want to talk about the great Prophet Musa alayhi salam.
But I want to speak about him.
No way, Monisa. Kalimullah. I'm going to be speaking about Kalimullah.
No. We have to. There's got to be a solution.
I have
for
to narrate the story and you have to give the lessons.
No, I want to do the story and I want you to narrate the lessons.
How is that going to go, Monisa?
Okay, let's toss about it.
I tell you, I got something else.
Go on.
Yeah?
Go on, what have you got?
Monisa.
He's bribing with a lucky chocolate. Okay. You win. I'm having this chocolate, yeah?
Jazakallah.
So you can narrate the story.
Jazakallah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, I'm going to have that in the break, yeah?
Yes. So maybe you can start off by telling them where we're going to carry on from, inshallah.
Everybody remembers when we finished the great story of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Now, at this point, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam is the ruler and ruling Egypt. And he has invited his family, Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam,
yes,
along with all his brothers.
Oh yes.
And all the people that from his family.
Yes.
And they've all settled in Egypt. So at this point, for many years when they stayed there, they've settled there now. And if everybody remembers that, and I hope everybody does remember this, that Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, whose brother was he? Or his son?
Whose son was he?
Yeah.
Ishaq alayhi salam.
Ishaq alayhi salam.
Subhanallah. Ishaq alayhi salam. Then we can go even further back.
Ishaq alayhi salam had a brother, didn't he?
Yes.
Who was he?
Ismail alayhi salam. We narrated all these stories.
Subhanallah.
Guys, we need to recap regularly and go back onto these YouTube clips and go through them, inshallah, and revive them, send it to other people, because just because you've seen it, that doesn't mean everyone else has seen it.
Ishaq alayhi salam's and Ismail alayhi salam's father was?
The great
Ibrahim.
Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Subhanallah.
Without taking any more time, Ustad Abdullah, can you just...
Yes.
Since you've bribed me with the chocolate today,
I had to let you. You know I had to.
Yeah? I'm going to have to let you carry on.
Okay, mashallah. Let's carry on. So Yaqub alayhi salam and his sons moved to Egypt because Yusuf alayhi salam, the son of Yaqub alayhi salam, was the ruler of Egypt. The people of Egypt also welcomed the family of their noble king. After some time, Yaqub alayhi salam died and was buried in Egypt. Yusuf alayhi salam grieved over him, and so did the people of Egypt. It was as if they had lost their own father. After some time, Yusuf alayhi salam also died, and this was a terrible day for the people of Egypt.
Wallahi, it must have been, we could just imagine, and just reading the story of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, can you imagine how the people felt towards Yusuf alayhi salam?
After he did all this for the whole of the country and the surrounding countries, the way he...
But it's not only the part where he supported them through the famine, it's all about his whole story of where he came from, how he went, his ordeal and everything.
Yes, subhanallah. Yeah. So true and so right. They were very sad and wept over him for a long time. And so it remained for a long time. The Egyptians remembered what they had said and acknowledged the virtues of the people of Canaan, also called the Israelites, people of nobility and wealth.
Ustad Abdullah, at this point, I have to just, bring in a little point here. Remembering what people do for you, and you acknowledge and you always make dua for those people, and you remember those supporting times when you were in difficult. These people were in difficulties, and Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam supported them, helped them. Is that something that's missing within us, where we kind of forget? In our society, culture, do we forget about people who support us, help us? Not that we say that we have to, remember them and praise them, and they're always something.
The minimum you do is at least make dua for them regularly. Make dua.
So whenever somebody does good for you, we always make dua for them. That is the bare minimum that we should do, make dua for them, because it is only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a source that's helped you through the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I agree with you 100%, Sheikh Sam.
And I think this is where the people of Egypt were remembering Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam and his family because of what Yusuf alayhi salam did.
For sure, yes. You are correct, again and always. SubhanAllah.
I'm not sure about always. Ustad Abdullah, you mentioned Israelites. Everybody that's listening, Israelites.
Where did he come from? Yaqub alayhi salam, in the Quran, he was known as Israel.
Yeah.
So that's where the name Israelites come from.
So Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam is known as Israel.
Yes.
And his children, remember all these people
Yes.
that now are in Egypt, that came from Yusuf's family, they all came and they stayed in Egypt.
Yep,
now they came from the family of Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam.
Yes.
So they are known as the children of
Israelites.
Banu Israel.
Yes.
So the children of Israel. So Israel is known as Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, and these are the children which are the Israelites.
Correct again. Subhanallah. That's what I mean, Musa. MashaAllah and Jazakallah. But later on, things changed and many of the Israelites became corrupted and stopped worshipping Allah. The Egyptian people also changed in their behavior towards the Israelites. They began to look at them in a different way and began to envy the wealthy among them.
Ustad Abdullah, that's quickly I need to point in here is that a lesson for everyone again, that when you forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of wealth and possessions and the worldly stuff, like these people who are the Israelites, they were noble, they were respected, but then wealth, they became corrupted, they forgot about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
And then what happens? Did you see how the Egyptians turned?
They turned as well.
Yeah. So they turned.
Yes.
So it's a lesson for us that remember, when we forget what Allah gives us, whenever we get wealth or whenever we have something, we should remember, we should praise Allah, and we should refrain from using that as a source of, we shouldn't make that, whatever wealth we have or whatever possession we have, make us corrupt. It's very important.
Yes, for sure. Yes. Shall I carry on?
Yeah, of course, Ustad.
The Egyptians believed that they were the people of the land and that Egypt belonged to them. Some of them considered Yusuf alayhi salam a foreigner who had come from Canaan when he was purchased by the Aziz of Egypt. They thought it was not right for a Canaanite to have ruled Egypt. Many of the people forgot the virtue and generosity and the charity of Yusuf alayhi salam.
Ustad Abdullah, charity, generosity, big words that you've just said. Generosity is very important.
All these words need to be put in all our lives, and we need to do amal on it. We need to act upon these things. These words are strong words, like you said, and we need to understand them properly and act upon these words.
And we need to be generous.
Always.
We should always be generous towards everybody. Everybody.
Islam teaches that all day long to be generous. The pharaohs came to rule Egypt, and they did not like the Israelites. One particular pharaoh was very cruel towards the Israelites. He did not even consider them human beings and treated them as slaves. He thought that his people, the Egyptian people were known as Copts. He thought that his people, the Copts, were far better than the Israelites. Pharaoh was an arrogant and tyrant. Pharaoh was an arrogant and tyrant who believed that no one was higher than him. He did not believe in Allah. He used to say, "I am your Lord, the Most High." Na'udhu billah. How can you even say that or even think that? Na'udhu billah. He became angry if he learned that anyone was thought of being higher than him. He called on people to worship him and prostrate themselves before him.
Ustad Abdullah, just finishing on this note, what you've said, you said quite important points here. This Pharaoh thought to himself he was greater than everybody, he was better than everybody, And do you know what? Allah
much
gives
takabbur, yes.
Allah gives all of us abilities.
Yes.
Allah gives every single one of us different abilities. He
Yes.
gives us, some have, abilities that maybe others don't have.
Yes.
But that does not make you, it should not make you arrogant. And you forget Allah gave you the ability. That could go in a split second.
Yes.
So whenever we are working, whenever we are supporting somebody, if we are better at a subject or better at this work that we do, we should support others rather than be arrogant, because Allah
Yes.
hates people who are arrogant.
Yes.
And look, like you said, you just picked on Pharaoh, and you said the Pharaoh was very arrogant,
Yes.
that he claimed to say now he is better than God. On this note,
Na'udhu
Ustad
billah,
Abdullah, what do
na'udhu
you think? Should we continue in our next episode?
A few more words before we get to our next episode, inshallah.
Okay.
And they obeyed. Okay, he became angry if he learned that anyone was thought of being higher than him. He called on people to worship him and prostrate themselves before him, and they obeyed. But the Israelites refused because they believed in Allah and his messengers. Pharaoh therefore became very angry indeed with the Israelites.
Ustad Abdullah, nah, that's it.
MashaAllah.
It's got to stop here, because I want my turn. I want to narrate the story. We're going to have to finish. Everybody listening, you got to wait till the next session to find out what happens, because I can't take sitting here and not narrating the story, because it gets even more exciting.
I'm going to get another chocolate for you, brother.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
No, I don't want to spend yet. No.
We're going to have to end this.
I'm going to get you another chocolate, and then you have to agree to that.
Okay, I've done my salam. You got to quickly do your salam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakallah khair.